Greenfield, land is our legacy. Our founders have nurtured these prized possessions for years. As stewards of these crown jewels, we develop these lands into communities that will remain relevant throughout the years. Simultaneously working with nature while employing the latest in technology. We provide spaces for leisure and opportunities for a thriving lifestyle. Venues where relationships grow and are nurtured. We build residential towers that are part of well thought out and planned communities. We build modern suburban cities with vast spaces for nature and an opportunity to live a fully connected and balanced lifestyle. We provide living spaces that flourish with life and heritage. From urban, connected yet nature-centric districts to suburban cities flourishing with greenery, our developments will remain relevant throughout the years. Let this be the legacy you bequeath to your children and your children's children. Let our land be your legacy. Greenfield, ours for generations.
There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Alright, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live at Quezon City University. So today we will be joined by speakers from Jobs180.com, Accenture, CDO Foodsphere, and Transcom. So before we start, may we invite everybody for a short prayer, followed by the singing of national anthem and school here.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, pero sa sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong panggaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di maghihindig. Luman ang araw ng Buhay langit sa piling ko. Ang higaya na pagkay mga aking ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Dakila kang humubog ng dangal, dalisay na gabay sa pag-aaral, tagumpay laging ipinagdarasal, QCU naming pinakamamahal. Sa pagsibol ng aming pagkatao, bigyang liwanag at kulay ang mundo. Tahanan ka ng husay at talino, taglay ang pangarap ng Pilipino. Pinagpalang Quezon City University, pangalan ay laging maalagaan. Natatanging Quezon City University, sa liga ng aming kinabukasan. Pinagpalang Quezon City University, pangalan ay laging maalagaan. Natatanging Quezon City University, sa liga ng aming kinabukasan. Natatanging Quezon City University, sa liga ng aming kinabukasan.
Alright, so again, welcome everyone. Welcome Quezon City University. Ready na ba kayo? So by the way, my name is Joyce from jobs180.com. I will be your today's host and we are live via Jobs180 Facebook and Jobs180 YouTube page. And we hope that everybody is excited to learn new things today. Alright, so to officially start today's session, may we invite Vice President Pietan, the Vice President of Admin and Finance for the opening remarks.
Hi everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome all the participants today in this pre-employment webinar. It will prepare students for the virtual fair during the celebration of University Week. No? Also, a warm welcome to all speakers who will be sharing their expertise on pre-employment topics. This will give students the opportunity to learn and prepare themselves for a job interview. So students, okay? So please, we're trying to equip you, okay? So we are also grateful to jobs180.com, who is consistent in assisting us deliver insightful topics that will equip students to prepare for their chosen path. To our students, QCU puts you at the center of everything. Please take this opportunity to find a good startup job, okay? Again, this is just a short message from me. Thank you, jobs180.com, and God bless everyone. To students, good luck. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Pia. Maraming salamat po for facing the event. Thank you, ma'am. And as usual, for our audience today, please comment your name, your year, and your course. Again, for our audience today, please comment your name, your year, and your course. And if you have questions later on, please type them in so we can answer them after the talk. And please don't forget to tag and share this to your friends too. Kung wala pa sila dito, tawagin nyo na. Okay? Para sabay-sabay tayong matuto ngayong hapon. Okay, so if you guys are all ready, here's our schedule for today. We have the online applications using resume link, which will be discussed by jobs180.com. We also have not so common skills to land a job or promotion by Transcom, shifting to a digital career by Accenture, and motivation and productivity by CDO Foodsphere. So again, shout out to everyone who is here na. Again, please comment your name, your year, and your course. And as we go along, type in your questions so we can read it later. Please wag po kayong mahiyang magtanong. If you have questions, please use the comment box, the comment section. This is your chance to ask before you face the real adulting thing or the world of work, guys. Okay. So kilalanin na po natin ang ating unang speaker. For the first topic, we have online applications. Our speaker has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resource speaker, he has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. The managing director from Jobs180.com, Mr. Kim Chua. Sir Kim, take it away.
Everyone, allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. No, not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag nating resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, no, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number one, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala itong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, ito ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. This should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay, more than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, meron kang kapangalan, okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot, pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo, gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay, wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over-creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw ay makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So sayang lang. So you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? register, wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpletong detalye nyo. So how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo, kayo lang may alam yan, at lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kayo ng account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay? Lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot. Lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So, ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often that you open your social media account. So, I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes, if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Edi lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or anong mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag-door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating pa sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gano'ng karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang tourism at pang HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa 2 lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung 2. Kung 2 lang talaga alam nyo, din 2 lang. Ano tong 2 to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. No, ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma, di ba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga? Hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, di ba? Certificate, diploma, yan. Ebidensya yan. Okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBA clearance, police clearance, di ba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede ka mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So, kung di mo type yung sagot, edi-delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, yung mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda example yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng ganun kasi mga sample ng profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo i-express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Diba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So, depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So, I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan membro na Akit Bahigang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So, kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayo magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon, interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako mismo, napagkakamala ko yung mga aplikante, pinakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan, blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this. It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo tsaka oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example. Kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang ganoon ang dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na anong dapat nyo gawin at hindi nyo dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything from top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo na papabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay din ng HR na papabilis. Because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo attention, gusto ka niya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Di ba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Di ba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills o sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design? Di ba? Gets mo ibig ko sabihin, wag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pag nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pagprocess sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do you do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila, real-time. As in real time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo attention, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So better make sure nandyan yung mga contact details na updated. Okay? So yan. So tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So you're now thinking, okay to paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, wag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in-applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik. Hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year. Ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala nang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to you from you soon. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan eh. Ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update-update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No? Maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante na ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Diba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secured na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data. Pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi. O, makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O, di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now, we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So, hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool. Please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it, enter, save it, real-time update. Lahat ng bigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Di balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari. Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com, or email us, email me, here sa info@jobs180.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget yung wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. Na nagsasabing, be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Kim. Good afternoon po. So good afternoon again. QCU, the floor is now open for questions. So if you have questions, please use the comment section, use the comment box. Please type in your question. Okay. Ayan. Good afternoon, Sir Kim.
Hi, good afternoon.
Ayan. So while waiting for your question, Sir Kim, um, ayan. So ang question natin ay how convenient and beneficial si Jobs 180 Resume Link, especially Sir Kim, QC will be having their virtual career fair on Tuesday.
March 1.
Right. Yes po.
Oh, yan. So, ito yung mga practical benefits why I recommend that you start creating your resume link. Huwag mo na antayin kung kailan kayo mag-job fair pa tsaka ka gagawa. 'Di ba? Kung wag mo na rin antayin kung kailan ka gagraduate tsaka ka gagawa. So, if you're listening right now, you're still in your senior high school, you're in your freshman sa college or sophomore, third year or graduate na, okay? Gumawa ka na ng resume link for the following reasons. Number one, pag meron kang resume link, instead of ikaw yung paisa-isa nagsasubmit sa mga kumpanya, which you can do, of course, ikaw na rin yung minamatch nung system sa mga companies na may ganong profile. So in short, sila yung marami ng possible job opportunities na kakatok para sa inyo. So kayo na lang magde-decide kung entertain mo sila or hindi. O yan yung unang-unang pinakamagandang benefit dyan. Pangalawa, when you have future events like kagaya nitong webinars natin today, no? Or atong darating na March 1, meron tayong virtual career fair for Quezon City University, you'll be receiving yung invitation. So later on in the future, kung meron pang mga ganitong events, at sigurado kung meron pa naman tayong mga ganitong mga events, you will also be getting those notification and invitation. Ang ano na lang doon, kung gusto nyo pa mag-join, edi you entertain, di ba? Pag hindi, you disregard those invitation. O, di ba? So doon pa lang, very practical na yung mga benefits na yan. Now, another thing na nakita ko dito is you have the flexibility, no, in terms of yung information na gusto mo ipakita or itago sa public, kagaya ng mga shinare ko kanina sa talk ko. Now, kung di na miss out yung mga iba pang benefits at features, just watch again itong program natin. Mamaya may replay naman. Pwede mong balikan sa YouTube or sa Facebook. Okay? Ayan. So, I hope na yung tanong mo, Ma'am Joyce.
All right. Thank you, sir. So we have question from the audience. So I have a question po. Na-hire po ako sa isang work na Feb to May. Yan. Should I put it in my resume po sa ngayon or sa May pa after ng contract? Thank you.
Wawawa. Yan yung pangalan niya. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you sa question mo. Alam mo, the way I understand that is that you're now working. You're currently working na. Kasi ano na ngayon February na. You're currently working na for that company. Ilagay mo na siya. I-update mo na. Huwag mo antayin yung matapos yung contract mo tsaka mo lalagay doon. 'Di ba? Hindi ano yan ilagay mo na doon para while you are waiting for maybe baka yung reason kaya February to May siya kasi baka contractual siya or depende sa
seasonal account.
or seasonal yung or in short meron kayo employment agreement, no, yung contract ninyo doon sa employer mo na hanggang May lang. At least you can start to explore companies na, 'di ba? Nagche-check out ka na while you're waiting, regardless kung ikaw ay extend ng current company mo or you want to explore for other opportunities din. So gawin mo na, lagay mo na 'yan. Para lang sagutin yung tanong mo, ilagay mo na sa jobs180.com na resume link mo, yung present trabaho mo. Okay?
There. Yes po, part-time job po. Sumagot siya, Sir Kim.
Part-time mo yun. Lagay mo dyan.
Ayan, next question, Sir Kim, from Ms. Tricia De Leon. May bayad po ba sa paggawa ng online resume sa Jobs 180?
Wala, libre po ito. No, libre ito. Kung gusto mo ng bayad, friendship lang. Charge mo lang to sa friendship. No, lagi ako nagbibiro about that. Pero wala tong bayad, libre po 'yan. Now, kung sakali lang merong kumpanya na sinisingil kayo ng bayad because you are using Jobs 180 na resume link, pakisumbong nyo sa amin, okay? Because this tool is absolutely for free. Wala tong bayad, libre po ito, okay? So take advantage of yung mga benefits ng tool na 'yan. Okay? Yan.
Ayan. Sana all po, sir, my friends.
Oo, yan.
Okay.
Nabasa ko nga.
Ayan. So, Sir Kim, of course, would like to promote po yung mga baka may gustong maghanap ng mga OJT positions. So, ngayon, lalo na for the graduating.
Tamang-tama. Ito yung mga season. Oo, ito yung season kung saan marami sa mga nakikinig ngayon, baka lang naghahanap kayo ng internship or OJT opportunities. The good news is, kami po sa jobs180.com, internal we have the requirement for OJT and internship position. So, kung gusto nyo mag-OJT or mag-internship po sa jobs180.com, ang gawin nyo lang, punta kayo doon sa jobs180.com/jobs180 or punta kayo doon sa school link na nagsuscroll ngayon. Nakita nyo yan, no? schools.jobs180.com/QCU. Diba? Or kung gusto mo din naman mag-email ng resume link ninyo sa amin, pwede rin. Email nyo lang sa info, no? info@jobs180.com. Send nyo sa amin yung resume link nyo and we'll be more than happy to accept you as one of our OJT, no? Or internship. We're doing this with more than 400 plus of our school partners nationwide. So, meron na kaming parang structure, no, for our OJT program. So, yon. Now, aside from that, kung meron kayong kaibigan or kakilala or kamag-anak na gusto maghanap ng full-time position naman para sa IT, specifically for web development, then, at saka isa pa, customer support, so please refer to us then or tell them to go send their resume link doon sa info@jobs180.com or punta lang sila doon sa link na nagsuscroll right now, no? schools.jobs180.com/QCU or punta sila sa website ng jobs180.com/jobs180. Hanapin lang nila jobs180. Submit nila yung kanilang mga resume link sa amin. Okay? Yan. So kahit
Alright.
pandemic, may trabaho. Di ba? May trabaho.
Yes. Next question, Sir Kim, from Sir Ross Abordo. Sir, ask ko lang po if meron pong nag-a-accept ng mga working students.
Meron naman po, Ross. Marami rin namang kumpanya, although hindi ko na maisa-isa yan, no? Ang dami. May ibang companies they're accepting to they're hiring, they're accepting working students. Lamang pa nga yung iba kasi ang downside lang niyan for working students, you have to manage your time because you're working at the same time you're studying. Pero kung kaya mo naman ipagsabay yon at kaya naman ma-deliver yung commitment mo doon sa expectation ng company, then by all means, I think the company is more than willing to hire you din, 'di ba? Kasi yan, meron ka ng meron ka na experience, 'di ba, sa trabaho mo. So working students, okay yan. Go. Attack.
All right. Thank
Submit
you, sir.
lang.
Another from Sir Melon Musk. Okay,
Melon.
parang ano yung name,
Si
Pwede po ba
Melon,
ilagay sa
Melon
work
tanong.
experience? Pwede po ba ilagay sa work experience ang mga freelancing online job po, like international site?
Yes, definitely. Melon, definitely yung lahat ng mga experience niyo, sabi ko nga, summer job, part-time job, freelance work, 'di ba? OJT, 'di ba? Racket man 'yan or sideline, ilagay mo diyan. Kasi magkakaalaman naman tayo pagdating sa interview 'Di ba? Pag in-interview kayo ng mga HR, malalaman naman nila kung talagang meron kang work experience or ni copy and paste mo lang yan doon sa kaibigan mo. Di ba? So, yan. Magkakaalaman yan. Okay. So, I hope na-answer ko yung tanong mo, Melon.
Mahirap magsinungaling sa resume. Ayan.
Yes. And never ever do that. Okay? Never ever do that. Okay? Yan.
Next, Sir Kim. So, do they have to sign in to access our resume link from Ms. Danica Resal?
Yes. Danica, hindi, if you're asking kung kailangan ba mag-sign in ng company, yan, I'm assuming, yan ang tanong mo. Does the company have to sign in para lang ma-access yung resume link mo? Ang sagot, hindi. Okay? Ang kailangan lang nila is, kailangan nila malaman yung eksaktong resume link mo. Kasi hindi siya searchable. You try to type Danica sa jobs180.com, walang lalabas. Hindi yan parang Facebook. Pag tinype ko Danica, baka may few hundred or few thousand na Danica na lalabas. Subukan mo gawin. Punta ka sa jobs180.com, meron doon search bar. Diba? Type mo doon yung Danica. Nothing comes out. Kasi ang pwede lang ma-search sa search bar are the following. Either the company name, location, or position title. So unless merong any of those three na binanggit ko na ang pangalan ay Danica, halimbawa lang, no, position title Danica, or yung lugar Danica, or yung company name Danica, that's the only time may lalabas. Pero other than that, it will not, hindi siya searchable dun sa jobs180.com na website. Okay? So, to answer your question, hindi kailangan mag-sign in ng company. Kailangan lang nila alam eksaktong resume link mo.
Feeling ko nag-go-wonder si Danica if she has to give her email and password.
And password. No, you don't. You keep your password to yourself. Never, ever, ever give your password to anyone. Okay? So, ikaw lang may alam niyan. Yung privacy settings mo, ikaw lahat gagawa niyan. What to show, what to hide in public, tapos real-time update. So, ikaw bahala kung kailan mo dadagdag or babawasan information mo. It's really up to you. Okay?
Alright. Next, Sir Kim, from Wawawa. Magagamit po ba sa resume namin yung mga webinar na na-attendan namin? May bearing po ba yun kahit papano?
Oo naman, pampadagdag yan ng laman. De, biro lang. Okay, so no, when I was still a student, I remember, no, wala akong maisulat kasi nga tinatry ko tandaan ano mga pinaggagawa ko nung first year ako, second year ako, third year ako. So I would rely on seminars attended para kahit pa paano may ano mas may laman konti, no, yung aking resume link. But the point here is yes, to answer your question, definitely makakatulong 'yan basta lang alam mo yung pinag-usapan doon sa webinar. Kasi pag yan ang tinanong nung HR sa'yo, tapos hindi mo masagot yung tanong na yon, bookingan time na rin yan. Okay? So I hope, yes, may bearing yan. Definitely, may bearing din. Okay?
Alright, one last question, Sir Kim.
Ah,
Pwede po ba namin gamitin yung own na gawa namin ng resume na to resume link this job fair kasi hindi po ma-update yung info sa resume link kasi walang work experience?
nung nag-create ka, Jet, nung resume link mo, dun sa first portion kasi may nakalagay dun kung may work experience. Pag hindi mo siya chinek, hindi ka nalilipat sa work experience na page, no? But anyways, you can always go back to check on it. Now, just to answer your question, pwede ba gamitin ng sariling gawa? Let's say nakagawa ka na ng Word file, no? Naka-doc file na yan or naka-PDF file. Yes, you can just create your resume link and then at the document portion, pwede mo i-attach yung document file mo. Pwede mong gawin yon. Pero but you still have to create the basic information for your resume link. Now, ang akin lang, gawin mo na lang yung resume link para kung meron ko i-update, real-time update yon. Kasi yung Word file na ginawa mo, yung document file, kahit anong mangyari dyan, hindi na magbabago yan eh. Unless you keep on re-uploading it, di ba? Every now and then. So might as well, i-update mo na lang yung resume link mo, real-time update pa sa mga kumpanya. Di ba? Ayan. Ayos, di ba? Flexible.
Alright. Thank you so much, Sir Kim. So, may mga iwan pa tayong questions. But don't worry, guys. We'll ask them sa ating susunod na speaker. So, meron pa tayong 3 speakers. Huwag kayo mag-alala. So, ipun niyo lahat ng questions nyo. We'll ask them.
Sige. Tanong nyo lang. Diba? Yun po. Okay.
Ayan. Thank you so much, Sir Kim. Maraming
Salamat.
salamat.
Salamat po. Ingat, everyone. Bye-bye.
Alright. Thank you, sir. So, guys, if you're interested to know more about jobs180.com, you may visit our website at www.jobs180.com or you may visit your career portal, schools.jobs180.com/QCU. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, which is not so common skills to land a job or promotion. We have the sourcing manager from Transcom. He is a nursing graduate of Philomar Christian University and a registered nurse. He has been working in the BPO industry for 15 years, 8 years of those in recruitment, mainly in sourcing. And he has experience working as a CSR, TSR, and team lead, then switched to a recruitment for supervisory role, then currently the manager of Transcom. Again, the sourcing manager from Transcom, Mr. Mark Anthony Denila. Hi, Sir Mark. Good afternoon po.
Hi, Joyce. Good afternoon. Glad to see you
again, sir. And sir, so sir, your screen is up po. So if you're ready, I'll leave it to it po. I'll be back after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Good luck, Sir Mark.
Okay, thank you, Joyce. So again, good afternoon to everybody, especially to the QCU community. So what I'm gonna discuss this afternoon are the unique skills to land a job or be promoted. Okay, so every employers and companies looks for a certain set of skills for the employees that they want to hire, right? So before I'm gonna go and discuss the unique skills that employer prefers, we're gonna discuss first the common skills, the usual common skills that employees or companies are looking for. So these skills are the skills that we acquired based on our experience, education, and even social interactions. So let's go first with the common skills. So first, of course, it's very important no matter what industry or sector you're applying for, you need to have good communication skills. So it's not just about talking and listening. It's how you relay a message and convince the person that you're talking to, right? So one is communication skills. Two, work knowledge. Every recruiter wants or prefers applicants to know why you're applying for this job and they need to understand the job that you're applying for. Third, willingness to learn, especially here. I think most of you will be are fresh graduates, right? So, of course, it's understandable that you don't know a lot yet about the job. So every employer wants to see from an applicant if he or she is willing to learn. Okay. Number four, thinking skills. So every company would like an app would like to evaluate the applicant on how they solve a certain problem or make decisions, especially if they are under pressure. Five, flexibility. So again, if you're a new applicant, right? If you're looking for a job, every employer wants to see if you're adaptable or flexible to changes, especially right now. For every industry or every company, there are always changes. So you would like to check if you're amenable to those changes. Of course, teamwork. There's a quote like teamwork makes the dream work, right? So recruiter will also gauge you when you're applying for a job if you are willing to work with the team. Okay. Well, there are people, right, that would prefer to work alone, but sometimes in your job, it would require you to work with other people or with other team members to achieve a certain goal. And of course, last would be job specific skills. So if you're applying for a healthcare position, then employer or hospitals would like to check or gauge your knowledge and your skills in healthcare. If you're applying for in the BPO industry, then of course employers will look for skills specific to the role that you're applying for. Okay, so these are the most list of most common skills that employers looks for in an applicant. Okay, so on to the next slide. So, what are the unique skills that every company wants from their employees or applicants? So, these unique skills can really help you land a job, or while you're already and if you're already working, can get you or can give you that promotion that you wanted, okay, or that you want. So first is conflict resolution. So in every um, in every company, right, or in every work setting, there will always be conflict. Okay, so the conflict resolution is a skill that you need to develop. Okay, so that you would be able to resolve these conflicts that you'll encounter efficiently. So how can we develop our conflict resolution skills? So of course, number one, listen. So let's say two of your colleagues are having this kind of conflict, and if you want to resolve it, then you need to listen first to both parties, right? So that you would understand where the conflict is coming from. Now, take your own emotions out of the equation, because if we include our own emotions, then there are tendencies for us to be biased, right? So we need to take it out in the equation of the equation, and then of course agree on facts. They said that truth hurts, right? So same with facts. So sometimes, if even if we don't, if it's hard to accept it, if it's a fact, then we need to agree on it. Okay, and then of course, for every conflict resolution, you need to demonstrate emotional intelligence. So this one thing, or this one of the skills that you really need to develop. Okay. Two, critical thinking. So earlier, common skills is your work knowledge. So work knowledge, right, is like a general your general view of how the things or how work is done. But with critical thinking is how you dig deep with the data. For example, you're a data um, in your work, you know what to do, and you know where to get the answers on for every problem. But it's how you dig deeper with this data that you have, so that you can create more or better initiatives. So of course, to develop critical thinking, you should always ask questions. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. So asking the right person would be able to help us deal with the challenges that we have, and and in the end, we develop our critical thinking. So research deeper and always evaluate your work. Check your check the quality of your work, and for you to develop your critical thinking. So next slide, interpersonal skills. So this one of the this is one of the important skill that you need to develop as you work in for as you continue to work, right? So first, how to develop your interpersonal skills, cultivate or practice positive outlook, so positive thinking. Then you also need to acknowledge others' expertise, right? So you need to compliment others and practice empathy. So when you say empathy, you place yourself in the shoe of the other person so that you would understand that person better. Okay. Fourth, written communication. So this is one of the skills that is very fundamental, but most applicants or most employees has challenges in terms of written communication. So, how to develop our written communication skills? We need to write and read often. So, if we want to write a message, we just need to make it simple and clear. Then put yourself in your reader's shoes. So every time you finish a message or an email, before you send it or even before you click that send button, then you have to read it first and check if you understand the message. Okay. Fifth is bias for action. So when you say bias for action, so it's the same as taking action. So you're against inaction. So for this skill, so if you want to take action, then you need to avoid distractions for you to continue doing what you need to do. And then how to, second, you should be comfortable with risk. So sometimes if we need to take action, there's risk or consequences that is involved. So if we are brave enough or if you're comfortable to take accountability of those risks, then of course we will create action for on that certain situation. Because if you're scared or if you're not comfortable with risk, then there will be inaction from your end. Okay. Next slide. Digital technology proficiency. So right currently, our technology is ever evolving and every companies and industries adapts to these changes as well. So digital technology further improves the processes and the the efficiency of every company or every industry. So let's say with nurses right now they have before pag may charting lang sa mga nurses, it's just a piece of paper, right? Parang forms, parang forms. Doon lang sila nagsusulat ng chart. Ngayon, there's like an intranet within the hospital where there's like different softwares or platform that they use for their charting. So let's say for in the BPO industry, different kind of tools that you need to use for you to be able to complete your task. So we need to be proficient with with digital technology. So let's say if you're working, so just to add, let's say architect. So architects right now have different softwares that they use for them to be able to create drafts, right, or plans. So we need to be familiar. So if you have a job, you need to know what are the tools or digital technology that you frequently use with this role, and you need to familiarize yourself with these tools as this would help you be successful in your role. So how to develop this skill? Of course, there's a lot of online courses available online, or even if it's a paid course, then it's a good investment because you'll definitely learn and use it in your trade. Okay, make an effort to use tech for your job, see for a hobby or for showcasing your work online. So aside from using it in your job, if there's an opportunity for you to do it at home to make your life or easier or comfortable, right? So you need um to use these softwares for you to be familiar about it. Seven would be self motivation. So of course, um, not all of the time you will have your best days, especially if you're working already. So you need to motivate yourself on the bad times or during bad days for you to keep going and be productive. Now, how can we develop our self motivation? So manage our expectations. So if you're expecting big, and then of course you won't be able to, if your expectations are high, and then if you won't be able to achieve it, then most likely you'll get disappointed, right? So um set it lower, just to make sure that you would know that you'd be able to achieve it. So it's like breaking down, as what the the slide is showing here, that you need to break down large goals into small steps, because for every task that you accomplish, there would be a sense of fulfillment for you to be able to complete, once you're done with the task. Okay, and practice gratitude. So always check, um, or always you should be aware of the things that you need to be grateful for you to be motivated again and be productive, especially even on bad days. Okay, and last would be integrity. So it's very important that you have to be honest. So actually it's really being honest, or to have integrity, is being who we are, right? So here you just need to practice accountability, especially if you're working. So if you make a mistake, be accountable and just learn from it. Okay, and of course, for in every industry or in every company, there are always rules and policies, so we need to follow it, right? So that would be for the unique skills that we need to, to further help us be successful in the job that we're gonna have in the future. And once we are working already, then these skills, if we further develop them, then it would help us be successful or get that promotion that we are eyeing for. Okay, so about our company, so again, I'm from Transcom. So I'll just show you who we are. So about Transcom, we are almost 30,000 employees across the globe. We have 33 languages spoken, which shows our diversity. And we have 200 plus international clients. So where we are located in Manila, our operations is in Ayala the 30th in Ortigas and Frontera Verde in Pasig. We have another site in Bacolod, and then another site in Iloilo. So we have another site coming up, hopefully next month, in Davao. So our people and values, so it's our vision and mission to create smart people experiences to make life simpler. Okay, and we value human resource development, so we value how to develop our people, and of course equality, and we practice equality and diversity within our company, and we're committed to be an integral part of the community that we are part of. And currently, we're looking for customer service and technical support representative. It's work from home, but the training will happen on site. So once you're done with the training, then our training team and operations team will will hands off, will allow you to work from home. And then we are proud of our we take pride of our malasakit program, or our malasakit culture. So these are the benefits that we offered for our employees. Okay, so for our recruitment process, for our openings, you can check our openings in www.jobs180.com/transcom. So once you send us your resume link, or you click on apply there, um, our recruitment team will call you for an HR interview, which will happen via phone. So once you pass your HR interview, our recruitment team or your interviewer will provide you a higher IQ link, which is our online assessment. So you can take this at home. Okay. And once you pass your higher IQ link, then our operations team will call you for your final interview, which will also happen on phone. And then once you pass your final interview, onboarding will also happen. This can be done at the comfort and the safety of your home. So all of our process right now are done virtually. So basically that's my that sums up my discussion for today. So I hope you learned and from my discussion, and you'd be able to to develop the skills as you apply for a job, and once you get that job that you wanted, then further hone the skills for you to be successful in your career. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Mark. Maraming salamat po. Okay, so QCU guys, again, the floor is now open for questions. So if you have questions for Sir Mark or regarding the topic, not so common skills to land a job or promotion, now is the time to ask. So you may use the comment section or the comment box to um, type in your questions. Okay. So ayan, sir, may mga naiwan tayong questions kanina po, no? Sa first speaker natin na hindi natin na maybe you can answer yung iba po. Okay, one moment. Okay. So, from Sir Sammy Mori. So, sir, any tips po para ma-impress ang company kahit na no work experience and no achievements po?
Okay. For well, this is very common for fresh graduates, right? Since you don't have any work experience and achievement yet, then the best thing that you can do is place your best foot forward during your interview. Okay, so be confident. Okay, show the recruiter that you're willing to learn. So depending on the position that you're applying for, then as long as you're prepared, as you prepare yourself before your interview by trying to understand the job that you're applying for, the culture of the company and the industry that you're applying for, then you would be confident to answer the questions during the interview. And if you do this, plus your willingness to learn, being showing them that you're flexible with the changes, if it'll happen, that you're committed to be with the company in the long run, then you'd be able to pass that interview. But again, if ever you won't pass the interview, so don't be frustrated, so just learn from the mistakes. So I can assure you is that for after every interview, you'll definitely improve yourself, or you'll be better compared to your previous one.
All right, thank you, sir. So another question, sir, from Sir Danilo Banyago. Sir, need ba talaga ng smooth English speaking kapag mag-a-apply po sa Transcom?
um for with our company, then of course it's one of the required skills that you need to have. So you need to have average to average to excellent communication skills. If the recruiter feels that you have good communication skills, or like, of course there will be some lapses, right, in your pronunciation or with your grammar, as what's important, if they can see that you're trainable, since there will be training before you'll be handed to operations, then you would pass the interview.
All right, thank you, sir. So another question, sir, from Sir JT Madrenya. Sir, may advantage po ba ang mga fresh graduate kung ikukumpara sa iba sa work application?
Depends. Yes, but that would depend on the role that you're applying for. So if you're applying for an entry level role, then of course, some companies would prefer fresh graduates, because there will be some roles that an employer wants to hire fresh grads to develop their skills and grow with the company. Because the some one of the advantage of fresh graduates are your willingness to learn, your aggressiveness, to work, right, to learn the tools of the trade. So that's one thing that employers wants from, or are looking for fresh graduates. So again, that depends on the role that you're applying for. But of course, there will be roles that an employer would require those with experience. So in that case, then of course, fresh graduates would be at a disadvantage.
All right. Thank you, sir. Next question, sir. Do you still have questions from the audience? Okay. So, one moment, sir. Natabunan. Okay, so kanina sir, you mentioned earlier that technology is slowly evolving, especially here in the Philippines, and we are slowly shifting to digital careers po, no, which leads to our next topic later. Pero syempre, we would like to ask also if should we be more focused on developing our hard skills since technology po requires hard skills, am I right po? Than
Yes.
soft skills.
Yes, of course. Yes. Well, it should be a combination of of everything. So sometimes right now, if you're one dimensional, okay, so it would only get you halfway. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to be multi-skilled, right? So yes, um, you need to develop a certain skill, but you shouldn't forget developing other skills as well.
Mm-hmm.
So again, depending on the role that you currently working on, or the job that you have, then you need to be aware or be conscious about which skills you need to further improve for you to be successful in that role. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely in terms of digital technology, yes, definitely we're going there. So let's say if you're let's say for example, if you're a nurse, right? So here, if you're gonna go to other countries, you might be surprised with the equipments and the technology that they're using in the hospital. So let's say before going there, if you have plans going abroad, then you need to check this first, and if you have a chance, try to study this kind of technologies.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, sir. So, of course, for the fresh graduates or graduating students that do not have enough skills po, no, and enough experience, how do you think they can apply or land a job?
Well, first they have to decide, right, which career or what job or what yes, what job or which company they want to apply for. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
they would like to apply for a customer service role. So of course, if you're a customer service representative, well, first you need to develop or hone your communication skills. So that's the first step, right? So first know what you want, and then once you know what you want, then try to research and understand what skills do I need to be successful or to be accepted for this job. So once you know those skills, then you develop those skills. So we have a lot of resources right now at the
Mm-hmm.
tip of our hands, right, online. So we just need to research and be aware of this of skills that is needed for the role that we would like to apply in the future, and then of course then practice those skills.
Mm-hmm. Correct, sir. Thank you, sir. And another one, sir, so we are aware naman na Transcom is looking for full-time positions po. No? So maybe the QCU or the audience would like to know if you are accepting working students or part-time jobs.
We do accept working students for our seasonal accounts, but currently we don't have any ramp for those accounts now. Usually it's in the third or fourth quarter of the year. So for
Mm-hmm.
our seasonal accounts, yes, we do accept working students for part-time positions.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. And tips and advice po for the graduating students. Malapit na. Konting kembot na lang.
Okay. So I think no what's important is for you to take courage, and be brave. So you need to be brave enough to get out of your comfort zone. Okay. So because that's what makes you develop your your person or your character. So I would, well, hopefully all of you will pass your first interview, but if not, then just be persistent enough to look for that job that you want, and then
Mm-hmm.
definitely the question is only when you will have it, but definitely you will.
All right.
So
Thank you
courage and
so much.
persistent, yes, that's it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sir Mark. Maraming salamat po again and again for joining us po sa webinar. And syempre po, we wish to have you again on our next set of webinars po.
Glad to be here. You're welcome, Joyce.
Thank you,
And
Sir
thanks.
Mark.
Bye.
Po. Ingat, sir. Ingat po. Okay. So before we proceed with our next speaker and topic for today, so we'll answer the questions po mga naiwan kanina, no? So from from Melon Musk. So lahat po ba ng nagwo-work sa Jobs 180 is working from home? Yes po, since nag-start yung pandemic, so we are all working from home. Ayan. And next question is, nadidelete ba yung data sa RL pag hindi po nag-a-update? Hindi nag-a-update? No. So, hindi po. Only you as the user can make changes for edit your account. And unless you ask po Jobs 180 to deactivate or delete your account, yun. Pwede po ma-delete yung account. Pero hindi po. Kayo lang po ang may, pwede mag-change or edit ng inyong account. Next question, is there a standard format for RL? Merong mga options na pagpipilian when you explore po creating resume link. May mga themes kami, no? So, may options, pwedeng 1 column or 2 columns, pwedeng pagpilian. These are specifically designed po to highlight the information for the HR. Okay? And for the work experience details po, may mga hindi makapag-proceed po to create resume link, no? Pag wala po kayong work experience, then click no. If you have, then yes. Then saka lang kayo maglalagay ng mga work experience. Pag wala po, skip nyo na po yun. Okay? Another question po ay, any tips to impress? Kung walang work experience, you can put all the other skills that you know po, and of course, dress up your cover photo to catch attention. Gaya ng sinabi ni Sir Kim kanina. And if you have questions pa regarding resume link, you may email us again at info, that's info at jobs180.com. Okay? Or you may message us po sa ating Facebook page. Okay. So, let's proceed now with our third topic, which is shifting to a digital career. So our speaker for today is a senior design. She is a senior design thinking coach and a certified technical architect. Currently, she is practicing agile ways of working while promoting empathy. She is an advocate for change, inclusivity, and diversity. The senior design thinking coach and technical architect from Accenture, Ms. Ranaika Basinillo. Hi, Ms. Aika. Good afternoon po. No sound, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon.
There. Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear po. I can hear you na. Ma'am, can we now test your share screen? Wow, it's up agad. Nag-brief na agad si Miss Aika. Okay, ma'am, if you're ready po, your screen is up. I'll leave it to it po. I'll be back for the Q&A. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Good luck.
thanks. Thank you, Joyce. Ayun. So before we start, I would also like to thank my partners currently sharing my screen, si Prince. So before I go in and introduce myself, I will be first introducing and welcoming you to my topic, the next normal's guide to winning your career. So we don't call it new normal, we call it the next normal. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, you will learn more about me. So my name is Aika. The whole name is Andrea Ranaika B. Basinillo. You may also check my LinkedIn account. So I graduated from Apo University Makati campus with a bachelor's degree in computer science. So back during my college days, I was an academic scholar, president's lister, so on and so forth. So I'm really very active when it comes to the academic scene. And also, I've been also very active when it comes to the extracurricular. And so let us discuss. So how's it going for me nowadays? So if we go to the next slide, you will see the different situations where I've been in during this next normal. Okay, so after graduating, it's been 2 years or more than 2 years already. So now I'm an engagement champion, a digital artist, a full stack developer, a technology architect, a UI and UX designer. So I put there too. Apologies for that. I'm also a crypto enthusiast and so on and so forth. So I was able to learn a lot, was able to cope a lot ever since the start of the next normal. So now I will teach you, now that we're in the digital workplace, how do you apply your work ethics? What should be the personal ethics that you should employ now that you are or you will be working in the digital scene? So let us start first with the first question. So, what is ethics? So, let us define it on the next page. Case. So, according to the dictionary, the online dictionary, I believe this is Merriam-Webster. Definition of ethic is the discipline dealing with what is good and bad, and with moral duty and obligation. So, how I define this myself is it is a set of principles that affect or govern someone's action or behavior towards a certain situation or a certain person. Okay, so now that you know what ethics is, let us now go to the next slide, where in order to fully understand how work ethics work in the virtual workplace, we first need to discuss what are the different benefits of working remotely in the first place. Okay, so let's have the first one. We have increased productivity. We don't need to go from one location to another because it's all within our screen, within our current environment, which increase our productivity. Number two, less gastos and more savings. As I mentioned earlier, you don't need to go from one place to another. So if you live from a very, very far location from your office, then you don't need to have that pamasahe anymore. Or if you're the type of person who opt for ordering in a restaurant instead of packing your own lunch, then this is a good time for you to save up because you're working from home. And number three, of course, the convenience at the comfort of your own home. You're more familiar with the location, so you know what where are the things that you need at a certain moment. You know how to cope if there is a problem because you understand the environment. Okay, you will be able to move right away because everything is fluid because of your familiarity to the place. And number four, communication is much more efficient. Okay, so this is contrary to what other people are saying about online. Some people say that they have difficulties trying to connect with other people because it's online. They prefer doing communication face to face, and we will not be saying that that's not true. But communication can be made more efficient. And why? Because we have a lot of devices. We have a lot of software that are now made available to us, and some of them are free. So we have Messenger, we have Zoom, we have StreamYard, and many more. So this is really the golden age of different software for communication for us. So now that we know the different benefits of working remotely, so let me tell you about my advice on how to learn more about work ethics and how to apply it to the virtual workplace. Let's have the first one. Establish your work schedule. Okay. Since we are all working from home, I bet that you have the same situation before. Maybe because maybe back then when everything just started, you just started working from home, therefore you're more accustomed to staying at home during the weekend. Sometimes you start late. Therefore, you need to really be punctual. You need to ensure that you set a strict schedule for yourself, a schedule also for your work. Okay? Do not forget that even though we're working from home, let us not forget a time for our self care or self love. Okay, so you also need to establish when you're going to take your trainings, when you're going to take your lunch. because that is very important for you to be a very effective employee, for you to be a more active and more productive. You need to understand and establish your schedule. Okay, on to the next one. Of course, you need to learn to unwind and relax. So there are a lot of stress when working from home. Well, technically, it's just the same when you are working face to face. Yeah, maybe there are a sudden increase of your workload, or maybe since you're working from home, you tend to skip your meals, you tend to communicate less with the people inside your house. Then you really need to aside from establishing your work schedule, you really need to tell yourself that there should be a time for having fun, for relaxing and unwinding. Okay, so you can use applications like Calm, like Headspace, or you can just listen to music like Spotify. It could avoid you from distraction. At the same time, it will help you feel more relaxed whether you're working or not. The next one. See, after that, of course, very important, don't be distracted. I know that you are very active with social media. You're very active with games because everything now could be done since you're at home with your PC and your work laptop side by side. I know it could be a little bit tempting, but please do not be distracted. This is a very important work ethic, whether you're working at home or whether you are working in the office. You need to tell yourself that you have to be professional. Okay, during that time you need to focus with your work, okay, and not anything else. For items like social media, even though it's tempting, you need to set a different time for that, because once you open your social media account, trust me, you won't be able to take your eyes off of it for quite some time, and that will that will affect your attention, your engagement to your current work, or whatever you are currently doing. So what you can do, set aside your social media account. If you have features in your phone, like for those people who are using iPhone, you can have the focus time to avoid getting distracted by the notification from applications like Messenger, like Discord, like Telegram, so on and so forth. And then the other one is try to ensure that you have uh, the items that distract you the most away from you during your time, because there is some sort of principle or belief that if something is just 1 meter away, something that you can immediately grab, then you will really be tempted to do that. Therefore, to avoid being tempted, just put it away from you, since you will need to take some time to stand up to get it. And some of us, we feel more lazy for doing that and just stay in our seat. So you can also do that. Oh, also, do not forget to exercise. Okay, since I already mentioned about standing up. Okay, now let us go to the next one, which is stay connected. So I mentioned earlier that you shouldn't be distracted by your social media accounts or games or other people that you're talking with inside your home. But you still need to stay connected. It could but this is more on a professional level. Okay. So some of us, we tend to work silo. When I say silo, we tend to work individually instead of collaborating with other people. But we really need to ensure that during this critical time, we connect with these people to get their feedback, to get their critique, to ensure that we also give it back to them. That is the only way for us to ensure that even though we are working miles, kilometers away, we would still be able to ensure that our work is not affected by it, and it is still with great quality. Okay. Also, aside from the work part, or when you want to ask for advice from your colleagues, from your leads, Okay? Always make sure that you connect with them. Set a schedule with these people. This is not only to advance your career, but also to update them for what's currently happening with you. And that would help you and also help you to ensure that during this trying times, you will be given the best option, the best situation project that they could give. Okay. And if we go to the next slide, last part of our personal ethics before we move on to the other topic is respect for others' time and respect in general. Okay. And here I will take some time to discuss because it has a lot of different layers. Okay. So I'll start first with names. Okay. So let's say for example that you're currently working from home right now. Or maybe let's switch it up. Let's make it you are applying for work. So normally we tend to say sir, boss, but here in Accenture, what we do, we call each other by first name. But of course, with a lot of respect. Okay. Calling other people with their first name without the sir boss is not disrespectful. Okay. That is looking at them as equal being and thus more respectful for us. And what I can say about it is make sure that you ask other people about their name. Once, for example, you're in an interview, ask them what their name is, how do they prefer to be called, because some people they don't like to be called by their first name or second name. Maybe they have a nickname that they prefer. In order to establish a closer environment with other people, make sure that you pay attention to their names. Okay, the second one, greetings. Okay, we're already in the work, not really work from home, but we're already in the digital space, right? Some people they tend to just ask right away other people, hey, can you do this for me? I have a favor. But do not forget to always say your greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, how are you? Okay, this is to lighten up the mood and to ensure that not everything should be as straightforward. Okay, you also need to take care of the person that you are talking to. Unless that is something that they prefer, then please do be straightforward. Okay. The next one, don't interrupt. Very important. Let's say you're using Teams or Zoom. It's very hard to connect with other people or to talk with other people if you have some sort of lag. So make sure that when you feel that you're cutting off someone, okay, a little bit a little bit you know more compared to the other people, ask yourself, what can I do to get out of this situation to make her feel or make him feel that it is not my intention? Then you can immediately say sorry, apologize to them for interrupting their conversation, and then ask them or give them a solution that maybe you can talk first and I can talk once you're done, or I can just see it in our chat box. Because if a lot of people are talking at the same time, we would be having difficulties communicating other information which won't be explained right away. Okay, and if it's something intentional, okay, it is very important to stop cutting off other people from saying something, because maybe some of these people are not really comfortable with talking, but they need to because we're in the digital space. And let us not traumatize them or stop them from talking again. Okay. Instead, we should even ensure them that this is a safe place, that you respect their opinion or you respect them talking in front of the mic. Okay. Also, watch your language. I know that we tend to be very vocal with our opinion. Sometimes when you type in the chat box or when you write an email, you might not be uh, you might not be that attentive with the words that you're using. So please do reread your emails, your messages before you send it to them, because sometimes it might sound sarcastic or it might sound something else, even though it's not something that you intend. It is safe to reread it again. And if you feel that if it's okay to be said to you, then maybe it's a good message. Okay. The next one. Okay, work ethic. Let us avoid discussing about politics or religion when we are in our workplace. Okay, this is to avoid not just issues, but workplace is not just the place for that. Okay, and also we don't want to have some sort of a argument with our fellow colleagues. So do make things stay professional within your pod. So things like those, or even some news that shouldn't be discussed inside the work, doesn't have any connection with your work, should be left to your social media instead. Also, no phone during meetings. I know sometimes, especially for students or those people who are graduating, even if the teacher is discussing, we tend to open our phones and then message. Okay. So we need to refrain from doing that unless emergency. You can just mention it to the people inside your call that, hey, I'll be taking a call, is urgent, or I need to reply to something, or maybe I have this delivery, so I need to get down. So do not leave people unattended. So make sure that they know if you will need to talk to someone else or you will need to go somewhere else. And dress appropriately, even though we're just talking through the webcam. I know sometimes we don't really dress up below, but at least for your top side, ensure that you look professional, that you are covering the right places. Okay. And the next one would be, this is more of an advice to you. So as I mentioned, the first part in here, respect for others' time. So I mentioned during the first part of my discussion that we should respect our own time by establishing our work schedule. But in this case, respect for others' time, we need to ask them when do they prefer to have this call, when do they prefer to have this email. Okay, we need to be very proactive in asking people about their time preference. Okay, so not because it is okay for us, does it mean it is also okay for them. So some people, they tend to avoid answering calls before 9 a.m. because that is the time where when they are sleeping, or maybe they are taking their morning coffee, and then suddenly you will disturb them. Okay, so ensure that you properly communicate with them your time, and you also ask them so they can properly communicate what time they prefer to be communicated with. Okay, so those are the different things that you should take note when it comes to personal ethics in virtual workplace. Okay, so of course we have another topic, and if we could go to the next slide, of course, since we're talking already about the virtual workplace, about the digital workplace, let us talk about what are our work from home essentials. Okay, so let's go with the first one, a dedicated space. This is very important. And I know that we are sharing, some of us, we're sharing our location with our loved ones, or maybe you are renting and you have buddies with you inside your house. You need to communicate with them regarding which space you would like to take, and you need to ensure that it is a quiet and professional space. somewhere where you won't be distracted. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a full room. It could just be a corner. So like my room, it could just be a corner with a table, with a chair, where with a place where you could put your other items. Okay, and it shouldn't be near your bed, or it shouldn't be your bed. Some people, they tend to work on their bed, and that is not a good practice to do. And why? Because you get too comfortable. Sometimes you tend to, hey, maybe I should sleep, take a nap. Okay, as I mentioned, you need to establish a work schedule for that. So when if you want to sleep, then sleep according to your schedule, and then that is the time that you need to go to bed, because the bed is not your workplace. That's why you need to have your dedicated space. Same with eating. Okay, so sometimes we tend to eat in front of our laptops, and once again, that is not something that I recommend. Okay, that is distracting you from your work. At the same time, you won't be able to fully enjoy your meal. Okay, now let's go to the next part. Number two, essential equipment. So I know by now that of course you already have your keyboard, your headset, what else? Your mouse. Okay. So aside from those, ensure that you're using the proper equipment. So a headset or a headphones with good noise canceling microphone. So let's say if you are in a noisy place, you still be able to communicate with the people that you're talking to with no problem. The second one is if you feel that your keyboard is too distracting, then maybe you need to turn off the lights. No, I'm just kidding. I also prefer things are very bright, but you need to ensure that you are really comfortable with the equipment that you are using. So I know if you tend to like the keyboard with 10 keyless, those that are small, then maybe some of the numbers are not available in there. Then maybe you need to opt for a bigger one, so you would be able to work with no issues. Also with the mouse, maybe you can opt for something more or ergonomic. Same with your chair. So some of us, we tend to have a different setup. If your table is higher than your hand, or if you're having difficulties moving your mouse, you might be in risk of having carpal tunnel. So to avoid that, ensure that you have maybe a wrist pad, a um, keyboard pad, or something like that. Same with your chair. So ensure that you are very comfortable, because when you're comfortable with your equipment, with your location, you are more susceptible, not really susceptible, but you will be able to work properly. Okay? Now let's go to number 3. Very important, a good internet service, especially if you're someone working or wanting to work in a place where you need to talk a lot with other people. Then you need to ensure that you have good internet service. This is not only for you, but this is also a favor to the people that you are talking to, for them to understand you much better and clearly. Okay, so this is not something that I cannot that I can really give you an advice with, and what service provider that you should take, but you should ensure that you are also not doing anything else while you're working, as I mentioned, and also try to communicate with the people inside your house so you can discuss regarding the bandwidth. Okay, and maybe you can opt for higher speed. So when you're uploading, when you're downloading, it will be much easier for you. Okay, and now let us have the last one. Number 4 is, of course, very important to compromise and adapt to the environment. Our current situation, we're not really sure until when this will happen. Although, as I mentioned, this is the next normal. So we might not get back entirely to where we were before, but with our current situation, I think that we are thriving. We're trying to make do. We are continuously improving. Okay, some of us were doing hybrid work where we go to the location and work from home at different times or completely working remotely. But we need to ensure that during the next normal or during these times, we are well equipped and we discuss it with the people around us. That's what I meant with adapt to the environment. Okay, because one day all of us inside our house, we might all be working together, and some of us are working for something more confidential, or some of us we need to talk a lot, or some of us we need to be very silent. We need to compromise and ask each other what are the things that they need, what are the things that we also need. Okay, so be very sensitive, not only with your situation, but the situation of other people, and be ready because of course change is something inevitable. There might be more changes in the future, and let's just make sure that we are ready for that. So that's it for my topic. The next guide, or the next normal guide to winning your digital or remote career. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Aika. So there are I think three or four subtopics po under your topic no. So but we are going to talk about work ethics, especially in digital careers or shifting to digital careers. So good afternoon, Miss Aika. Kumusta po? Ayan.
Yes. Good afternoon as well. I hope that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, ma'am, loud and clear. So we'll now ask the audience po if they have questions. So for QCU, if you have questions, guys, the floor is now open for questions. So pang third nating speaker si Miss Aika for today. So after this, last na speaker yung susunod. So lahat ng questions nyo, i-ask nyo na. Okay? So of course, ma'am, as I've mentioned, regarding work ethics and digital careers. So for the students po, for the graduating students as early as now, in what ways po they can develop their work ethics?
Ayan. That is actually a very good question, knowing that they are still student, no? Because some people they still wait till they get their work before they get started, no? As early as now, as I mentioned, you need to establish your work schedule. You need to wake up at a certain time and make sure that you sleep at a certain time. You have your lunch at a certain time because time affects everything. Okay? If you have noticed during my discussion earlier, lahat nagdedepende sa schedule ninyo. You would be able to separate your work with your personal life, your social life, so on and so forth if you ensure that you have everything scheduled. 'Di ba sabi nga nila,
Mhm.
work-life balance. So start with that, and I ensure you by the time that you start with your work, you are more ready because you have the principles shut down.
Mm-mm. And follow-up question, ma'am, and what would be the consequences or what will happen po if I fail to develop and work on my practice my work ethics?
Ayan. Okay. So if we're talking about you already at work and you failed to employ
Mm-hmm.
some of these items. Okay, let's say for example it's your first time. So if we're talking about personal preference, then you already need to warn yourself because alam mo first time eh. Then what are the steps that you can do? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
you can instead of doing everything at once, then maybe you can take baby steps. Siguro just simply having your alarm clock, just simply turning off your notifications for social media, that would be a great start. And then the second one, if we're talking about the people that we're currently working with, then maybe you need to tell it to them, especially your lead, your superior. Here in Accenture, we're not afraid with talking with our leads or superiors because we know kakampi namin sila eh. They would be able to understand and they will be able to give us the proper advice. I've been in your situation before actually because I don't have that healthy schedule because I've been working different shifts and I told my superior about it and he gave me a very great advice and I would also be sharing that with you. Ensure that you tell everyone your limits. Okay? So even if your shift they do change, tell everyone the limits. Okay, that maybe this week I prefer that I only work for this certain shift, and maybe by next month na pag nagbago ulit. So it will depend on you, and it will depend on the people that you're working with.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So we have questions now from the audience. So from Sir Danilo Banyagos. Tanong ko lang po, pwede po akong mag-apply sa Accenture kahit graduating pa lang po ako this year?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hi, Danilo. That is a good question. We also have our HR team in here, Prince. But before I give him the mic to him, maybe I could give you my own answer. Yes, you can actually apply for, especially if you have exceptional resume or exceptional background, like a lot of curriculums, or you are very active in the academic scene. You would be able to apply to different programs for Accenture, like the EILP, Accenture Innovative Leadership Program. We also have the SLC, Student Leadership Conference. So even though graduating ka pa lang, you will be able to get the experience right away. You would be able to have the edge and start um before your other peers. Prince, if you're also in the call, would you like to add? Ayan, siguro ano, it's okay for additional question.
Mm-hmm.
So please do type it in the chat box na lang to the email,
Yes
and
po.
we will just
Mm-mm.
connect with you. You can also check our email or website in accenture.com, and please do connect with us in our social media accounts.
Apo, we'll read na lang again, ma'am, if may follow-up question. So, another question from Sir Melon Musk. Ma'am, pwede niyo ba kaming mag-apply? And then, to follow na lang po yung mga credentials like diploma and portfolio.
Yes, that is correct. Pero it would depend kung kailan kayo mag-graduate. When you say graduating students, quarter na lang, semester na lang,
Mm-mm.
or are we talking about the full year? Those are things that we need to consider before we accept your resume or your application. I think this is much better answered by our HR team. So please, you may connect also with me and through our LinkedIn, and I will connect you, or you may go to our social media account, as I mentioned.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So, another question, guys. You still have questions? So, going back sa topic natin kanina regarding work ethics. So, of course, we would like to know also, ma'am, which is the most commonly observed form of unethical behavior in the workplace?
I see. To be honest with you, marami. So I don't think I would be able to mention a lot of them. Pero siguro, ang technique ko lang sa inyo to know if it's unethical or not. If it's okay to be done to you, then maybe it's okay. Pero if it's not okay to be done to you by other people, then you should start asking yourself, is this something that is morally accepted? Maybe this is something that I need to refrain from doing. That is the quickest way to know if something is unethical. Okay?
All right. All right. Thank you, ma'am. So, I think that's it po. Ready na po ang ating student speaker. But, do you have tips and advice for the graduating students, Miss Aika, before you proceed backstage?
Sige po. Okay, so I've also been in your shoe. So as I mentioned, I graduated 2+ years ago. So I know what you're currently experiencing. So some of you maybe may doubts, may hesitation that tama ba yung ipupursue kong career? Tama ba yung ipupursue kong work? So, I know there are a lot of questions, but please do trust in yourself. Maybe this is the process for you to learn where you should really belong. As you were able to see earlier, I have a lot of hats that I'm wearing. I'm a designer, I'm an artist, a developer, diba? And that is because I am not yet sure what I want to do before. So I was able to know by going through different projects, different clients, asking people what are the different things that I do. So if you're still asking yourself, that's okay. And maybe that is the first step to this process of learning and improving, or going through your career journey. Ask yourself, what is your first step in your career journey?
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Aika. Maraming salamat po for joining us today. We wish to have you on our next set of webinars, ma'am. Ingat po.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. So, for the last topic, which is motivation and productivity, we have the recruitment head from CDO Foodsphere. So, Ms. Sheena has over a decade of HR experience specializing in recruitment across various industries. Currently, she's the recruitment section head of CDO Foodsphere Incorporated. She's responsible for developing and executing robust strategies and programs that would provide the organization with the most qualified talents. She graduated from the LaSalle College of St. Benilde with a degree in BSBA Human Resource Management and also earned her MBA from Ateneo Graduate of School of Business. Again, the recruitment head from CDO Foodsphere, Sheena Abellera de Jesus. Hi, Sheena. Sorry
Hi,
for that.
good afternoon.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, can we now test your share screen?
Okay.
All right, guys. So, Miss Sheena is our last speaker. So, if you have questions, eto na yung ano, okay? Last na to, okay? So, ask questions. Okay, ma'am, your screen is up. So, if you're ready, I'll leave it to it po. I'll be back for the Q&A. Good luck, Miss Sheena.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me in your program today. So this afternoon, I'll be talking about motivation and productivity. So usually these terms are often used in the workplace. So for example, in productivity, we are measuring how many customers we're able to assist per day, or in a manufacturing company like CDO, we talk about how much products we manufacture or produce in an hour, in a day, or in a week, or in a month. But as we go along, we will realize that motivation and productivity are part of every stage of our life. So even if you're a student, an employee, or even in the aspect of a hobby. Okay, so let's proceed with the definition. Okay, so for the definition of motivation, the first is it's the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving a particular way. So, for example, your behavior is that you go to class early. Maybe your motivation is that you avoid being scolded by your professor or you avoid getting punished. Another definition is that it's the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. So your level of motivation pushes you to complete a task or not complete a task. So yun yung push natin no, in doing something. Number three, another definition is that it is one of the telling factors of how an employee will perform at work. So if one is happy with work, the person will be able to produce results. So that's what research is telling us. Lastly, based on the preferences of people. So each one of us has different sources of motivation. So one thing can be motivating to someone, but not to another person. Okay, so for productivity, so later on we'll be expounding more on this. No? So productivity naman, on the other hand, first definition is that it's the effectiveness of effort, especially in industry, as measured in terms of the rate of output per unit or input. So medyo parang scientific siya, no? Or it is a measure of efficiency of a person completing a task. A common definition naman is how much task a person has completed in a day. For sure, everyone can relate, and every one of us has experienced the feeling of being unproductive despite the very busy day, no. So minsan ang dami mong ginawa the whole day, but we feel unproductive. Why? Because we also link productivity to making progress or completing an activity or task, which is usually kung ano yung priority natin that time, no? Okay, so productivity is quite direct to the point. So for this session, we'll focus more on motivation and understanding how people are motivated. So for the students here who had psychology subjects, you may have encountered a number of theories of motivation. So for this short presentation, I'll only run through 3 theories and put more emphasis on one theory. Okay. So one of the most famous theories would be Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So what Maslow is saying, the first step is that we are motivated by our physiological needs. He's saying that having enough money to buy food, clothing, and other essential needs should be met. And then after that need has been met, we move to safety or security. So dito pumapasok yung mga questions about, do I feel safe where I am? Siguro in the workplace, do I have job security? And then once that need is met, we move on to having the sense of belongingness as well as love. So pwede dito yung mga intimate relationships like having boyfriend and girlfriend, pero syempre hindi naman yun lang yun. Dito din pumapasok yung may friends ba ako in school? Am I happy with my teammates? Kasundo ko ba yung mga groupmates ko? So, masaya ba ako sa school na nasaan ako? So, yun yung having the sense of belongingness. Once that need has been met, we move to esteem. So, sa esteem, that's having the feeling of accomplishment. So, esteem is the desire to get recognized, rewarded for an effort or hard work. So finally, after all the needs are met, self-actualization is achieving one's full potential. So while Maslow is helpful in identifying the set of benefits to meet the needs of the people, so for example, in physiological, if we are going to relate this in the workplace, so for physiological, how much salary are we giving our employees? Enough ba to sustain their kind of lifestyle? And then for security or safety, do they have the feeling of job security? For love and belongingness, usually that's where we introduce mga team building activities, mga culture building programs, so that people will feel belonged, or people will have the camaraderie with each other, no, for the team to be successful. Or dito din pumapasok yung trying to get to know people so that mas mag-build yung chemistry din with each other. And then for esteem, so we try to build or to come up with recognition or rewards program for our employees. So napopromote ba yung mga tao? Are they being rewarded based on the efforts that they are giving to their work? So and so on and so forth. So the main critic naman in this hierarchy of needs of Maslow is that it isn't necessary for people to climb up that particular pyramid or ladder, no, na dapat physiological muna or safety muna before you go to sense of belongingness or esteem, because it depends on which stage we are in sa life natin, or what do we prioritize at that particular moment. So for example, there's a stage in your life that you priority esteem versus sense of belongingness. Siguro for certain leaders, basta we achieve our goals, basta I am here on top, okay lang sa akin kahit hindi masyadong friends with a lot of people in the workplace or in school, di ba? Minsan that happens as well. Or I prefer ngayon na basta may sense of belongingness ako, compared to having high pay, no, or high salary, which is under physiological. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is helpful when it comes to providing benefits or providing the proper reward system for employees or for the group of people. Okay, so next theory of motivation is Herzberg's two-factor theory. So he is saying that rewards can be divided into two, which is one, dissatisfiers, and two, satisfiers. So dissatisfiers can make people unhappy when there are problems, but they do not really motivate when there are no problems. What are the examples of these? For example, work environment or job security. For satisfiers, if you really want to motivate, you need to focus on the work people are actually doing. So it states that what motivates people are recognition, and having that sense of meaning and purpose at work. So this theory means that people are motivated when they are doing things they are passionate about. So one example here may be those people who are pursuing a career in arts or in music. Diba? We have a notion that having a career in art or in music is somewhat not stable because hindi siya yung like the ordinary or like the most of office job careers no na Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, and then merong monthly income talaga. But there's still a lot of people pursuing that despite the quote-unquote instability of it because they are really passionate about music or art. Ayan. But for me, what I find personally, no, what I find very relatable and easy to understand is the intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So, intrinsic motivation involves performing a task because it's personally rewarding to you, while extrinsic motivation involves completing a task or exhibiting a behavior because of outside causes, such as avoiding punishment or receiving a reward. So I have here some examples that so that you can better understand the difference between the two. Working because you enjoy the job. So for example, what I enjoy most about my job is that as HR, no, is that we help our employees to reach their goals. We provide them the manpower needs they have, or create a good work environment. At the same time, on the other hand naman, sa extrinsic motivation, going to work to get paid. So, ang motivation for working is, for example, the salary. So, in my case, I am intrinsically motivated, but at the same time, I would also want to receive my salary or monthly pay kasi there are needs to be met or may mga bills that we have to pay. Unlike siguro for a cause or ano ba, foundation or parang you just want to help out people, if I am just 100% intrinsically motivated, kahit wala akong sweldo, okay lang. But in my case, since there are practical needs as well, I am also extrinsically motivated because I want to get paid also with the service or with the work that I am doing. Next example is that you study because you find the job interesting. So, for example, a lot of students or for most students, merong subjects that you're interested in. So, minsan nag-extra effort ka to learn more about the subject. Pero there are certain subjects that you're not super interested to study or to make extra effort. So, in those subjects that you're interested in, mas nag-effort ka, mas mataas yung grades mo, siguro mas nagpa-participate ka in class. On the other hand, studying to get a good grade. So the motivation there is that for example, you are vying for honors or meron kang ine-expect or may scholarship ka that you're trying to maintain. So your motivation there is for you to maintain a good grade. In my case, I have an example. So in the past years, no, I studied Japanese language. Wala siya masyadong bearing or wala siyang extrinsic reward for me. But I took that subject because I am so fascinated about Japan. I am super interested about anime. So I enrolled in a Japanese language class because I am intrinsically motivated. Gusto ko lang ma-satisfy yung desire ko to learn more about the language and about the country, for example. Another example is tackling a new project because you love a challenge. So, usually nangyayari siya eh. For example, for students, mga extracurricular activities. Hindi naman siya directly related to your course or to your grades, pero you're taking the extra project because you're really interested in those things. Versus working hard to get a raise or recognition from your boss. So, yung iba naman in the workplace, would really take on a new project or a different project because they want to get promoted or they want to get a raise or recognition. Tidying your house because a clean home keeps you calm. So, for example, in my case, gusto ko malinis yung house because mas nakaka-stress yung pagod ka sa work and then uwi ka na madumi yung house, halimbawa. Versus tidying your house to avoid feeling embarrassed when company comes over. So, um, hindi naman to masyadong nangyayari ngayon because of the pandemic. So siguro for other students, they try to clean their house or their rooms because ayaw nila mapagalitan ng parents nila. So, so usually, a person has a balance, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Hindi ibig sabihin na intrinsically motivated ka means you're a better person than those who are extrinsically motivated. Sabihin ng iba, kasi may makukuha ka in return, kaya better yung intrinsically motivated. But no, in reality, there is usually a balance between the two factors. Okay, so why are we trying to learn about motivation? Kasi research shows that motivation has a direct impact to productivity. So, our beliefs and values translate into action. So, kung ano yung desire mo, ano yung interests mo, usually mas doon nagsastrive yung tao. Also, our goal is to be successful and happy, di ba? So, it will help you decide what path to take for you to be successful and happy in the future. So, for example, after graduating, you're really interested to pursue a job in advertising. But the only position available and is being offered to you right at that moment is, example would be admin assistant or probably a role in e-commerce. So you can base your decision on your motivation. So is it extrinsic, meaning, wala ito na yung offer that's on my table right now. So I'm going to take it because kailangan ko na talaga mag-earn ng money to help my parents or to help my brothers and sisters. Or intrinsic motivation ba siya? Meaning, okay lang for me to wait for the right opportunity. Kasi I am more passionate talaga about advertising. So, okay lang naman sa akin to set aside muna yung salary or this opportunity because what I really want to pursue is a career in advertising. So yun. So if you know yourself and where your motivation is from, you'll know what step to take at that moment. So together with ability, actually, motivation is the most important factor that affects how people perform at work. Ayun. So I hope you learned something about the link between motivation and productivity. So a while ago, I was introduced as someone who's working at CDO Foodsphere. So I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you the company where I am currently working. So CDO Foodsphere, we are a food manufacturing company. We are based here in Valenzuela City. We also have another manufacturing plant in Malvar, Batangas. CDO actually stands for Corazon Dairoong. That's the name of our founder. We have been in the business, in the industry for 46 years, going 47 this coming June 25. We have around 6,000 employees, so we do end-to-end, so from producing our own products to research and development, to introducing new product categories or product lines in the market, to coming up with campaigns on how to promote our products, to distributing them to the market and to the different channels. Okay, let me share with you some information pa about the organization. So, a delicious story of success. From a simple dream of providing delicious food for her family, the CDO story has turned into a lifelong commitment of providing Filipinos with high quality and affordable products. Our mission is that we champion meal times and unite families through food that calls them home. We live to bring them freshness and delight of mom-made cooking that fills their hearts. So our vision, we will be the most trusted food company, loved for how our food creations bring and bond all generations of people together. Our values, very quickly lang, we are passionate about our consumers and customers. We have love for God, so we usually have First Wednesday Mass. We also have chapels in our manufacturing plants here in Malvar and Valenzuela. We have integrity, we are open and collaborative, we are innovative and entrepreneurial. So we have a lot of programs also wherein we try to generate ideas from our employees to promote innovation and process improvement. Our products, so we have frozen meat. This is our biggest category. Hot dogs and sausages, Vivo hot dog, Idol cheese dog, Highlands corned beef, Ulam burger, chicken nuggets. We have hams, Fantastic Tocino longganisa. We also have frozen canned meats, Highlands corned beef, Carne Norte, beef loaf, also bottled fish and mackerel. We also have dairy products, so cheese, cheese with bacon, cheese with herb and garlic, sriracha mayo. Wala lang yung mga photos here. Cheese balls, nata de coco, and kaong. Aside from the main business of CDO, we also have a nonprofit organization which we call Odyssey Foundation. So our foundation has 5 pillars. Gabay Nutrition, it's the supplemental feeding program to malnourished children. Gabay Edukasyon helps provide the needed resources to existing institutions. Gabay Kalikasan aims to bring back green into our surroundings. So we have tree planting activities, clean-up drives, usually in the communities near our workplace. Gabay Hanap Buhay conducts livelihood programs on meat processing for mothers. So specifically for mothers because our founder is a mom, so mas nandun yung focus. Gabay Lingkod, it's the response to the various needs of the community. So for example, may bagyo, may binaha, may pumutok na volcan. We usually provide support to these communities. As a company, we also believe that we are responsible to keeping our environment clean and green. So we have several programs such as wastewater treatment, we have recycling efforts, we use solar energy, especially in our plant in Malvar, Batangas, as well as much as possible, we reduce the use of plastic. We would want to be ambassadors in keeping our communities where we operate safe and clean. So that's it for my presentation. I hope you've learned something from this short presentation. So if you want to reach out to us, you can feel free to reach us out at through our email, through our Facebook page, through our website, through our LinkedIn page, as well as our Jobs 180 page, jobs180.com/CDO. So our vacancies are also listed in that link. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sheena. So maraming salamat po. And I believe you're ready now for the Q&A.
Okay.
So for QCU, guys, last speaker natin si Ms. Sheena. So if you have questions, so you may use the comment section, comment box. Please type in your questions. Okay. So while waiting for questions, I have a few questions, Ms. Sheena. Pag nag-work po ba sa CDO, curious ako pag nag-work sa CDO, meron daw po bang libreng corned beef at hot dogs? Pumasa sa interviews, ma'am.
Actually, we provide naman from time to time yung mga free lunch or free meals.
Wow.
So especially then kapag Christmas season, we provide din mga holiday ham or yung mga seasonal products ng CDO. So we have naman mga benefits for that.
Oo, guys. Alam niyo na, guys. Ganyan kaano sa CDO. And my question, ma'am, ito pa. What will happen po if I started to lose my motivation? Does it indicate something? Should I start to worry na po ba?
Okay. With that, it's good to assess yourself why your motivation is kumbaga derailing, or why is it lowering down? Is it because of the job you're trying to do? Is it because of the boss? Is it because of may problems ka sa house? There are a lot of factors kasi that are affecting your motivation. So it's the first step really is for you to assess which area is causing your demotivation and probably work through that. And kasi minsan kasi it's just a momentary thing na parang, okay, I'm demotivated for just today. Pero bukas you have a new set of energy na. So it depends talaga what's the cause of your motivation. So it's better to really assess yourself for you to come up with a solution as well. And better also if you have a mentor or if you have a friend who can help you in that journey of, especially of coming from demotivation to regaining that motivation.
Mm. So, Miss Sheena, it's normal po, no, to get
Mm-mm.
demotivated, ano po, from ano,
Yes.
sometimes. So, kasi 'di ba may mga naririnig tayo ng mga estudyante na, "Ay, babawi na lang ako next sem." Wala na
Oo.
naman, wala na naman yung motivation nag-aral. "Ay, babawi na lang ulit ako next sem." So,
Yes.
so may mga factors na dapat i-consider. Tama po. And, of course, ma'am, how can we say that someone is productive?
With the definition I've mentioned earlier, kasi usually, may it be sa work, may it be in school,
Mhm.
there are things that we have to accomplish, and there are things that we have roles that we have to fulfill. For me, the way to measure your level of motivation is that if you're able to complete or to finish the work that you are expected to fulfill, or if you're able
Mhm.
um, to bring out or to fulfill the role that you're expected to do, or if you are making progress um, dun sa mga things that you prioritize and you're committed to do. For me, that's the measure of productivity, yung progress, yung completion, um, yun yung measure, and yun
Mm.
yung malalaman mo if you are productive or not.
Can we tell, Miss Sheena, if we are, more productive than the average person?
Okay. I think, oo. Kasi for example, in the workplace, may measure yan eh. For example, you're
Mhm.
a group of, customer care associates. So usually, nasa dami ng calls, mas marami siyang
Mm.
calls, or mas marami siyang na-address na concerns, it means that that person is more productive. So for example, in school, you have a group project or group activity, and minsan naman talaga that happens, and that's a reality na mas maraming nako-contribute si student A versus student B. So yung mas maraming na-contribute can be it's safe to say that that person is more productive than the other student. So
Mhm.
the good thing about productivity is mostly it is measurable based on accomplishments, based on the number of assignments na natapos mo today versus ilan yung delayed na hindi mo na ipasa, ilan yung subjects na naipasa mo versus hindi mo na
Mhm.
ipasa. So usually it's really measurable.
How about, ma'am, judging a scenario like, for example, you're capable of doing a lot of things, no? Na i-start mo, naumpisahan mo lahat, pero pagdating at the end of the day, wala ka natatapos. Pero marami ka naumpisahan, di ba? Parang
Mm-mm.
multitasker ka nun. So, pwede ba siya pumasok? Na productive ka na ba? Pwede ba ganun?
Um, I think paano ba? Meron namang reward sa effort in starting.
Mhm.
No, na parang, okay, sige, you're productive kasi at least nag-step one ka. But siguro if you are in the initial phase of, for example, project na inuumpisahan mo lahat for all the
Mm.
subjects, and
Mhm.
naumpisahan mo lahat, so parang if nandun ka sa stage na yon, I think you can be considered as productive kasi you're working on it, there's work in progress. Pero if, for example, yung measure na is that nasa deadline period ka na and hindi na
Mhm.
nag-progress yung mga inumpisahan mo, maybe you can consider yourself na hindi na masyadong productive kasi nandun ka na sa deadline. Kasi usually kapag ka mga deliverables, there are also
Mm.
deadlines that is anchored also in the level of your productivity. So that should also play a part, or that should also be a factor for you to consider yourself as productive.
Alright, thank you, ma'am. So, we have questions na from the audience. Ayan. So, marami na pala. Ang ganda ng usapan natin, Miss Sheena. So, I'm sorry. So,
Okay.
we have question po from Sir Melon Musk. So, if
Mm.
mag-end na po ba ang pandemic, work from home pa rin po ba or on-site na po?
Here in CDO, we are actually doing both. No, we are doing hybrid. So there are days when we work from home. There are days when we work in the office. The basis of that is it's dependent primarily on the work you're fulfilling. If kaya mo
Mhm.
mag-work from home, pwede ka pa mag-work from home. If your role entails you to really work in the office, for example, our employees under the manufacturing group, syempre hindi mo nila pwedeng iuwi yung machine or yung raw materials para gumawa ng tocino at home. So, sila talaga naka-work in the office na. But we have a lot of controls in place to ensure the safety of our employees. So that's how we try to put a balance between keeping the employees safe as well as reaching our targets to provide our products to our consumers. So after the pandemic naman, we still see a hybrid work setup based on the role that you're fulfilling at CDO.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Another question, ma'am, from Sir Erwin, Music and Vlog. Wow. So, how to apply po sa CDO? May experience na po ako sa factory before and ano po kaya pwede ko maging position?
Okay. How to apply? So, dun sa earlier message ko, you can, dun sa last slide ko, you can send an email directly to us. You can also apply through Facebook page. Also, you can apply through jobs180.com. So there are a lot of ways to apply here in CDO. If you have an experience in the factory already, we have to review yung profile mo para we can know and we can assess where we can process you. Kasi it will be based on your work experience also and preferences and based on the vacancies that we have here in the company.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. So, another ma'am from Sir Maniago. So, same question from speaker po kanina. They're asking po if you're accepting po working students po, no? So, and mga fresh graduates.
Okay. So, here at CDO right now, kung tumatanggap yung CDO ng IT graduating students. Or internship program. So, if ever kasi, what we prioritize is yung mga nakagraduate na, who has completed their academic degree, para at least we can assess them for IT roles already. Working student, if ever, siguro pwede siya for internship roles, but as of now, we don't have yet an opportunity for example, for IT no, na undergraduate, aside from internship.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And another question po from Sir JT Medrenya. Is it possible po ba na makapag-gain ng motivation if you're new in the industry po? And in what ways po?
Yes, definitely. There are different ways then for you to gain motivation. No? So as discussed earlier, it's a person to person basis yung different factors why you're motivated or not. Pwedeng kung bago ka sa industry or kung bago kang hire, fresh from college, usually ang main motivation would be finally the ability to earn money, finally the ability to earn, to purchase what you want or to help out in the family. So that's one way of getting motivated. Number two way of getting motivation would be intrinsic, which is learning new skills that you cannot learn in school. Kasi there are really practical and hands-on experiences and learnings that you can learn once you're already working versus when you were still a student. So pwedeng mag-gain ng motivation mo yung more learnings that you are building in yourself na, okay, before I don't know this skill, but now that I'm working, nakakatuwa din yun no, na nagbe-build ka ng skill set mo for yourself. And also, yung climbing up the ladder of within the organization where you're working at, yun din yung one way of motivation na parang from entry level, ngayon nagli-lead na ako ng people. So yun, so parang having that progress in your career can also be a source of motivation. So looking at those aspects can help you be more motivated in the work you're doing in the industry where you're at.
Thank you, ma'am. And another question, ma'am, from Miss Pat Dagdagan. So good day, ma'am Sheena. May tanong po ako how to overcome mental block po.
Okay. That happens, no, for kahit sa akin, kahit sa mga colleagues ko. Minsan talaga parang for some reason, for whatever reason, parang pagdating ng, halimbawa, ganito, Q&A, minsan mawawala ka sa thoughts mo. But I think what helps me personally would be trying to recall or trying to, if for example you're presenting or siguro during an interview, it's good to review your credentials, your work experiences, what you did in school. Kasi pagka paulit-ulit mo rin siyang nire-rehearse or pinapractice or you're reminding yourself of those information, mas nababawasan yung possibility of having mental block, no? Mas naalala mo siya. So if you are reviewing, you are rehearsing, you're practicing, that would help.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So one last question po. So I'm just curious din po, no? So Ms. Sheena, do you need to have a certain traits or habits po maybe to be more productive?
First is that you have to focus on the goal. Ano ba yung goal mo? Parang list it down. That will help you kasi measure ano yung how you define productivity in your own personal way. So, kasi kung hindi mo alam yung goal mo, hindi mo alam kung ano yung kailangan mo accomplish, hindi mo alam kung saan kang path pupunta, mahirap for you to define your own level of productivity. So the first step really is to have a goal. Parang halimbawa, gusto ko makagraduate this year. Gusto ko matapos yung thesis ko by this time. Gusto ko pasado lahat ng subjects ko this semester. So if you have those goals, you'll be able to assess yourself if you're being productive. So alam mo kung ano yung path that you will be taking na, okay, this is my goal. I want to achieve my goals. So these are the things that I'll be doing to achieve my goal. So if your goal is to pass all your subjects, magpapasa ka ng assignment, hindi yung goal mo yung makapasa ng subject, but hindi ka man lang nagpapasa or hindi ka man lang pumapasok. So yun, it's good to have goals and walk towards that goal for you to be able to be productive.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Sheena. So great topic po, no? So thank you, ma'am. So your tips and advice na lamang for the graduating students before we end the session.
Okay, for the graduating students, for me as a recruiter, as an HR practitioner, I believe that there's a role for you. So be excited about what's about to come because definitely your hard work and whatever it is you've achieved in school will translate that into the workplace, into the what other people call the real world, diba? So be excited about what's about to come and continue to pursue and don't lose that hope, no, na eventually you will land a job that you like. Basta work towards it as well. Attend webinars like this, read about the career that you want to pursue, ano yung bago ngayon, ano yung skills na in demand for the career that you would want to take. So research also, no, about how you can contribute further or how you can contribute better to the role or to the career that you would like to pursue. So yun. So yun lang naman. I hope you've learned something and I hope to see you again soon and stay safe, everyone.
We've learned a lot, Ms. Sheena. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge and expertise po today. We wish to have you on our next set of webinars, Ms. Sheena. Thank you, ma'am. Ingat
Thank you
po.
also. Bye-bye.
All right. So to officially close our program for today, may we invite Dr. Isagani M. Tano, the Dean of College of Computer Science and Information Technology, for the closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Isagani Tano, the Dean of the College of Computer Science and Information Technology. First and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation to the speaker for their valuable contribution to our webinar, for answering those questions, and for the great presentation. I hope that what you have learned to this webinar will help you in your career plan Utilize every moment to prepare your mind and body for the future endeavors. Nothing can stop you from reaching your goals as long as you work hard and your goals are simply dedication and determination away. Your future journey will be designed based on the path you chose at the present. Best wishes for the successful and flourishing future. And so with this, I wish everyone a pleasant day. Thank you.
Thank you so much po, Dr. Tano. Thank you so much po for trusting Jobs 180 again and again, powering your events. So there you have it, guys. We are done with the talk proper and successfully tackled all the topics today. And of course, do not forget to evaluate this event. The link is flashed on your screen and is also available at the comment section. Please evaluate. This will serve as your attendance. Okay, so you will have 2 attendance for today. The first one is yung link po na nanggaling kay Jobs 180, and then this evaluation link na galing sa mismo sa QCU. Okay? So again, we would like to thank each one of you guys for staying all throughout the event. We hope that the webinar helps you be prepared in the world of work. So we would like to thank QCU, especially Miss Aura Rose Cueva. Thank you so much, Miss Rose, for collaborating with Jobs 180. We would like to thank also our sponsors for today. So for more career opportunities, you may visit www.jobs180.com. Okay, guys. And your career portal, schools.jobs180.com/QCU. Again, it's schools.jobs180.com/QCU. Okay, from there, you can create your resume link na po. And again, Jobs 180 is looking for OJT. So if you are interested, guys, please submit your resume link. So create your resume link now and submit it at jobs180.com/jobs180. Or for full-time positions, we are hiring for customer support officer and IT officer for web development. Okay. Please submit your resume link also at jobs180.com/jobs180, or you may email us at info, that's INFO, info@jobs180.com. So please watch out for the next set of webinars we are going to host for. Please check our Facebook page for the topics that will be discussed. And you are welcome, guys, to join in on those sessions too. So the program has finally concluded. This is your host, Joyce Katakutan. We will see you soon and have a great afternoon. Ingat, everyone.
At Greenfield, land is our legacy. Our founders have nurtured these prized possessions for years. As stewards of these crown jewels, we develop these lands into communities that will remain relevant throughout the years. Simultaneously working with nature while employing the latest in technology. We provide spaces for leisure and opportunities for a thriving lifestyle. Venues where relationships grow and are nurtured. We build residential towers that are part of well thought out and planned communities. modern suburban cities with vast spaces for nature and an opportunity to live a fully connected and balanced lifestyle. We provide living spaces that flourish with life and heritage. From urban, connected yet nature-centric districts to suburban cities flourishing with greenery, our developments will remain relevant throughout the years. Let this be the legacy you bequeath to your children and your children's children. Let our land be your legacy.